Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars and Byweb, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today we are on Redemption World. This is a fog of war matchup with triple base, support, airport, and comm tower, and a random port just kind of thrown into the mix over here, right over there, and vice versa, mirrored on the other side of the map. Alrighty, folks. So today, our combatants are otbredbaron and Devio52 today, and they have chosen to play as Eagle and Olaf. So we have the classic clash of Eagle and Olaf, the commanders of the Green Earth and Blue Moon Army. Now, it's a little bit debatable whether or not Eagle is actually the commander-in-chief of the Green Earth Army, but I kind of consider him the commander-in-chief, although I feel like the four COs of Green Earth kind of just share in the responsibility of being the commander. But either way, that is a topic for another day. So Eagle, as a day-to-day ability, will get plus 15% attack on his air units and 10% defense and consume 2 less fuel per day. His naval units will lose 30% firepower. Now, his normal co-power, Lightning Drive, will boost the air units' offense and defense to 120%. And his Lightning Strike ability will increase the firepower of those air units to 120, but it will also allow all of his vehicle units to move again in one turn. So Eagle can get double attacks when he uses his co-power, which can be insanely effective. Now, he's facing Olaf today though, folks, and Olaf, as we know, as a day-to-day ability, will remove the penalty of snow. His normal co-power will make it snow, and his super co-power will make it snow and do 2 damage globally to all opposing units. So he's a little bit of the bane of Eagle enjoyers out there, folks. Olaf is a heck of a CO, heck of a contender, and he makes Eagle's life very, very difficult. Alrighty, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one. We have Blue Moon versus Green Earth today. So, on the first few days, folks, you guys know the deal. We have the standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars Byweb. Alrighty, folks. So far, both players have, well, OT Bread. Overtime Bread Baron. Overtime Bread Baron. That's what we're going to call him now. So OT Bread. He has decided to go for the back cap of one of his properties immediately, whereas Devio52 has decided to actually jump his infantry forward twice. So he's not going for this property. He's not going for this property. He is going for this property, or maybe even going to attempt to grab one of the mid properties. So the mid properties tend to be very, very contested, especially once the recons come in, and recons are very effective on this map due to the heavy road terrain that we have. So recon, especially built out of this property up here, or vice versa down here. Recon 8 movements, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 turns it is able to threaten this property right here by the shoal line, and also get massive amounts of vision over here. So very, very good recon movement on this map for sure. And there we go. See, that's what I mean. There's the recon. So any property that Devio decides to not capture right away up here is going to be interrupted by a recon for certain. Now, Devio decides to actually not build a forward recon, but builds a recon out of the back property, which is a little bit suboptimal for movement, but it's still going to be able to get up there and get lots of vision, and it's not really that much of a difference between the moves. But if you did build it out of the forward property, it would get there a little bit quicker. Let me see. So if we did build an infantry out of this property, let's say our goal is to get the comm tower, right? So we got 1, 2, so that's 1 day, 2 days, 3-day capture on the comm tower. This is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days capture on the comm tower. So there's not really much of a difference when it comes to movement to capture the comm tower. Let's say, for example, that's the plan, right? So this guy is still going to capture it on the same day, but this recon is going to be 2 movements short of the middle. So very minor things, folks, but it does play a little bit of a factor later on. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen this match, so we're going to find out together, folks. Okay, ready. So many more properties are getting acquired here, and the recon is moving up. And yeah, see, so this is the difference so far, right? So Devio's recon would be the equivalent of right here, where otbred's recon is right here. So not much of a difference, but is definitely a difference. Now, the main difference between these 2 players at the moment is the fact that Devio decided to double skip his property and grab this property up here. But that is going to get spotted right away by this recon, which, if it's really smart, will probably just go sit itself on the city. That's what I think would be a good move, but gets full movement out of it. And the sad part about this, so getting full movement here actually reveals the recon. Now, you wouldn't think that it reveals it because we're out of range right here of the vision, right? Because infantry have 2 vision, but because we went in that vision square of the recon, or of the infantry on that turn, if Devio was paying attention, he would have seen that recon move. So now he knows that there's a recon there, and that things are about to get super spicy for this infantry if he doesn't get the heck out of dodge here. Or at the very minimum, move into the forest, right? So, I'm going to go and acquire that airport. Recons are moving in. And just casually move the infantry forward. So very nice. So we have potential options here. You know, we can go for this back cap. We can go for this cap. This cap is definitely the better cap to get at the moment. Sides can kind of be captured like at your leisure by these sort of like back infantry, right? So most of your forces are probably going to want to go towards the middle because that is where the combat is going to be. So Devio very intelligently moves into the forest because he did most likely see that recon pop up there. So he does not want to be dealing with that recon anytime soon. Now, however, on the opposite side, Bread has seen the infantry move into the forest. So he knows that the infantry is there. He knows where it is. And he is ready. And he also builds a battlecopter, which is super nice for Eagle on this map. Now, battlecopters, incredibly effective on this map. You know, it's Fog of War, Eagle, battlecopters. You want to get them on the field, folks. Now, I remember one time, I had a match. I believe it was this exact matchup, except I was playing as Olaf. And actually, I was down here too. I had a match on this map. And it lasted probably like plus 70 days. It was a slaughter, folks. It was a slaughter. It was a battle of attrition for sure. So, yeah. This one's not going to last 70 days, I can guarantee you that, because Live League's not allowed that kind of thing. But it is possible that these matches could potentially last a long time. So Devio busts out the double tank, which is very good. We want to get a tank over here, want to get a tank over here. So we're going to have a little bit of pressure on both sides. So hopefully he gets an anti-air out next turn, because that would be super good, because you know you're fighting Eagle, and Eagle is going to be busting out the battlecopters very, very quickly. Now, he does do an interesting move here, so Bread decides to actually skip this property, which I don't really agree with. I mean, at the moment, you want to, I mean, you kind of want to just get the property, because it's a contested property, right? I mean, it could be a contested property. And I think I see what maybe the thought process is here, and maybe our thought is we want to interrupt an infantry that is going to be capping this property here. But if we go up and interrupt that, I mean, you look at the mirror image of your units over here and then your opponent's units over here. Most likely you're just going to be throwing away an infantry for a property that's just going to be capped anyways, so might not be the best move out there, folks, but it is a move, and it's probably going to happen. Okay, very cool. So we just completely ignore that infantry on the side, and we move the recon into the center, because that's where we're going to get the most vision. So I can definitely understand why we might want to do that for sure. And this tends to happen a lot on this map too, is you have one infantry here and one infantry here. They cap the properties, and then they just don't move. You just don't move. You don't see them move until some sort of backup gets up here. Devio has a very interesting position over here because he's able to actually move an infantry and cap this property and this property and this property all at the exact same time. And if Bread did not have a battlecopter, that would be a beautiful play, but sadly, for old Devio, he does have a battlecopter, and that is actually what he goes for, and he thinks it's safe. He thinks it is safe. This is going to get very interesting very quick with this battlecopter because he is going to be moving up and attacking that guy. Now, once he exposes the battlecopter, though, it is going to force Devio to start building those anti-airs, right? But you don't want him to get that income either, because if he gets the income, then he's going to be ahead. And I can definitely see an interrupt happening here. Maybe not with the recon, but with the infantry for sure. I believe there's going to be an interrupt. And Bread just, like, he doesn't really have the tanks that Devio has at the moment. Oh no, we go in with the recon and do the attack. That is a big no-no. Big no-no, folks. Unfortunately, the only thing that is going to happen from that little attack is we lose our recon. Now, we might not lose the infantry. The infantry might only get hit once. But it's, yeah, we lose the recon, and that's our main chunk of vision right there. Without that recon, we cannot see anything that is going on past like 3 squares in the middle. So losing that is going to be huge, and Devio is going to have access to his recon still, unless he decides to go and yeet it somewhere. You know, he could potentially try to go and interrupt this or attack something in the middle, but let's hope that he holds on to his recon, folks, because that recon is incredibly vital at the moment. We do not want to be losing it. And Devio, or Bread, actually did go in for the attack with the battlecopter on this infantry, so he has exposed it. So Devio knows for certain that he's gonna have to build some anti-air, and I was just saying how good it would be if we kept this recon hidden. But he has exposed it to an attack here, and now we have spotted tank. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, is this tank is in range to actually hit this tank. So, and this tank is in range to hit this recon, and this tank is not in range to do anything. So we might potentially see a pretty big hit here. I mean, he could go in and attack the tank, and you know what? If by chance, like, Bread doesn't have reinforcements over here, you know, this could potentially be an okay attack. I mean, he knows that he's a little bit behind on the tank game because he has a battlecopter, which is all the way over here. But aside from that, he doesn't really have a whole lot of info on the rest of the map. But goes in and attacks the recon because it's safe. You know what? That's a very safe attack. This is a 100% a mistake. So if we're gonna be doing that, we attack tank first and then infantry because we keep our infantry completely healed, right? So that's what we do there. But a lot of the times, and there are lots of people that are guilty of this, and I am definitely guilty of this too. Sometimes when you're playing live, you come up with an attack, with a thought, with a plan, but then your plan slightly changes mid-turn, right? So maybe his thought was like, okay, I'm gonna go up and interrupt this. Then he's like, wait. Then he's gonna have vision. No, I need to KO it, right? And then he goes in with the tank afterwards. Ooh, good tank. Now, the one thing that is nice about this is the tank took no chip damage, so that tank is 100% health at the moment. Alright, there's our anti-air, folks. It is on the field. It is ready to go. Now, what is Bread? What is the Bread Baron going to do in this sort of a situation here? Because we do have an uncontested battlecopter at the moment. He doesn't know that it's uncontested, but it hasn't died yet. It hasn't even taken a hit yet. It did hit one thing, which is pretty good for it, but let's see. Let's see what the plan is. Is he going to send it into... Ooh, he's going to send it right there. That is a pretty risky spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not. You know what? That's actually a not bad spot. Okay, so this is the thought behind this, right? So anti-airs have 6 movement, right? So anti-air can move here, which is 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if he built an anti-air, let's say on day 8, it would be day 9 right here, and day 10, which is this turn, it would only be right here. So technically, it wouldn't actually be able to hit you. Yeah. So you know what? That's probably not what Bread is thinking, but it works out. You know, the math checks out, so it's all good. All good in the hood. And now we got 4 tanks on the field. They're all funneling into one area, and we got the classy medium tank build. Classy medium tank on the field, folks. Number 2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is you got to get classy up in here, folks. Beautiful stuff, folks. Beautiful stuff. Love to see it. Now, Devio is going to be able to capture 2 properties in the middle, which is going to be huge for his income, considering that it is actually an even game at the moment. Bread is going to be able to flip it in his favor right here if this doesn't get interrupted this turn. But next turn, Devio is going to be able to flip it in his favor if he actually manages to capture those 2 properties. And then it'll be up to Bread Baron to capture this neutral property over here in order to fully even the game out. So let's see. Let's see if these caps actually go through. Interesting position for the old tank, sitting there right on a road, but this is Fog of War, folks. Oh my god, both players build the classy medium tank on the exact same day. Classy medium tanks are taken over Advanced Wars by Web, folks. 1 player at a time. They are taken over, folks. Beautiful. I'm just happy to do my part and, you know, share in the good word of the classy medium tank, because more people need to get them on the field. Alright, folks. So, Bread does not see what's going on. Right? He has vision on 2 things. Sees a 7 HP infantry. He sees a full HP infantry on the side of the map. He knows he has lots of reinforcements here. He's got 4 tanks and a battlecopter. So I wonder what his plan is going to be. Okay, so he's going to go up and he's going to attack and he's going to scout it. Then he goes in with another infantry, taking that guy out. We do have potential to interrupt here. This infantry can easily move over here and interrupt from the road. But I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We cannot get a 2-shot on this tank here. We could potentially move in and take 1 shot, but it doesn't KO the tank. And sometimes just doing little attacks like that is not really worth it in Fog of War, because you don't really know what your opponent has. And lots of people are going to be setting up traps in Fog of War, folks. They'll put out like 1 little unit, 1 tiny little guy. They'll be like, oh no, I exposed my tank over here. Oh no, I hope nobody shoots it with their entire army. And then lo and behold, they got 9 tanks in the shade waiting for you, and they just rush up and they just start slapping you around with a bag of crayons, folks. You don't think it'll hurt, but my god, you don't want to get hit by it. It's worse than it sounds, folks. And that, I think, is exactly what is going to happen here. Devio he's spotted it, right? He knows the tank is there. He's got the recon. He's going to have the recon vision here. He can spot another tank. He can easily move the recon into the middle here and scout out what's going on. He might be able to get several attacks here. At the bare minimum, he's going to be able to at least take out 1 tank here while getting his tank healed. So, is it going to happen? I don't know, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out on day 11, which has just arrived, folks. 20,600 funds in the bank. And Bread, oh my god, Bread is banking up cash at the moment. He's got 8,000 funds in the bank ready to go. There could be some very, very interesting life choices that are going to be happening here for the Bread Baron very, very soon. I just certainly hope that he chooses the right way. Oh my lord. So he moves in with the tank, spots this, sees that there is 3 tanks lying in wait right here, but he's also got 3 tanks right here, so he matches them in tanks over here. But the one thing that we don't match him in is this battlecopter, and we don't really have a counter to the battlecopter over here yet, so this anti-air is gonna have to rush over here very, very quick. But Devio could set his units up in a way that the anti-air will cover his tanks if he decides to move in. Going in with the recon, if we follow through with the tank, you know, if we follow through with the tank and we go in for the attack, I can maybe see it being okay. This classy medium tank might oh, the classy medium tank is gonna be feeding. He is gonna feast today, folks. Dinner is served. Alright, let's see what happens. Let's see what's gonna happen with this classy medium tank here, folks. He is ready. He's ready. He's gonna snipe out this guy. Now, Devio, considering like the information that we have, I think he made it like a fairly good play here, though. He ships everything over to this side over here because that's where the fight is. You know, if this is where Bread wants to bring the fight, then that's where Devio is gonna bring the fight. Because if he gets Winter Fury before Lightning Strike, it's gonna be absolutely good for him. What Eagle really wants to do is Eagle wants to lie in wait, build up his army, and then wait for a massive lightning strike. That's what Eagle really wants to do, so you can't let him do that. Especially as Olaf, you need to get Winter Fury before the lightning strike. It just has to happen. If it does not happen, you are going to be in a very bad spot. But when we're thinking of bad spots, this Battlecopter is not in a bad spot. This Battlecopter is in a fantastic spot because once again, without even knowing, it is just evaded this anti-air. You know, he's just gotten all the way over here. This anti-air probably should have moved in like a little bit closer, but I can understand why you want to keep it hidden for sure. But Battlecopter gets off scot-free again, folks. Alright, so do a little 2 attack over here. Move in, finish off an infantry. Classy medium tank is about to be moving in. Oh, and it is gonna feed. It's gonna feed. Blah, delicious. Absolutely delicious, folks. Now, Devio's medium tank is gonna be able to go in and feed also. But it might open him up to a first strike from this medium tank right here. Now, depending on what happens here, it might be okay for Bread, or not for Bread, for Devio, because he might be able to bust out a very nice wall over here. But we'll see if it'll be enough. Now, the Bread decides to build another medium tank, which is okay. It's classy. It's classy. I think he should focus a little bit more on the smaller vehicles at the moment, considering that he sees like so many of them over here, right? And then when Lightning Strike happens, you know, you're just gonna have that many more units to do your Lightning Strike with. But I mean, if you get Lightning Strike and you have 2 classy medium tanks on the field, I mean, they're gonna have a good time because they're gonna be just moving in, just doing all sorts of wacky things. So maybe that's the plan. We're just gonna spam out classy medium tanks, and then we are just gonna hit with the biggest classy Lightning Strike of all time. All right, so Devio does not decide to go in for the attack. Decides to pull back. Now, I think the only thing that he could potentially do is he could go in. We could take this guy out. Then we could do... I think this is a one-shot with the medium tank. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like either one-shot or very close. Nah. You know what? I think he made the right play because we can't actually see what's in the forest, so we don't know what's there, so we would have to scout it out and be able to attack it. And if we can't kill it, well then... things are going to be bad. So we pull back. Pull back and we get a more defensive position. Bust out the Battlecopter. Bust out the artillery. Ooh, nice. Nice. Got to get the artillery on the field, folks. They're also very nice and live. Alright, so the medium tanks are moving in. We snipe out an infantry. We attack another infantry over here. And now we have exposed the base. We have exposed the base. And we're actually not in Battlecopter range, so that's even better. Nice. Love to see it, folks. And we move a couple more of the infantry over. We bring back the Battlecopter. And then that's gonna be pretty much it. I think we're just gonna reset up over here. Yeah. We're just resetting up. Doesn't move the medium tank though, so I don't know. I don't know about that one. Let me go back. This infantry moves here. I probably would have hid the medium tank. Because you don't know. I mean, he could have a stinky Neo tank, right? The stinky Neo tank comes up here and attacks you. You're going to have a bad time. But he's got a medium tank right here covering, so I think that's probably his thought. But, I mean, if you left any unit there, if anything did come up and attack, then you would still have that medium tank coverage, but then you would also just have another medium tank completely hidden in the forest. So you never know. Maybe it's a good move, maybe it's not a good move, but Devio doesn't care. Devio does not care if Bread made good moves or not, because he is going and he is going to try to steal this property right here. What a legend. What a legendary Blue Moon infantry. Just moving up there, just attempting to cap that property. So the rest of his units are going to do a little bit of a shimmy. Now he does have knowledge of a tank over here that just popped up, so he's going to move a tank over on the HQ. Got to defend that HQ. Very, very important on this map, because HQ caps are definitely possible on this map. I have done it before, and I'll do it again someday. Whether or not that day is going to come anytime soon, that is another question. But unfortunately, Devio52 has busted out the stinky stinkball abomination of a tank over here, and he is going to be walking along with his stinky little feet all the way to the front line and going to be able to bust some people up very, very soon. So unfortunate stinky Neo tank on the field, but considering the state of the battle, I can definitely understand why he would want to bust out with such an abysmal stinkball. So we're going to see what this stinkball decides to do very, very soon after Bread has shifted all of his units around. Now, did do a nice little shimmy here, but also interrupted the capture over here, but decided to go in with a battlecopter and interrupt that capture, which I 100% do not agree with. We do not want to expose our battlecopter to any sort of attack. Like, we just don't want that to happen. Like, 100% do not want that to happen. So this right here, definitely a no-no. If anything, just interrupt with like the infantry, and if you wanted to go up and interrupt again, you could just do it with this tank and just send them to the wolves, right? But interrupting with the battlecopter is definitely a big no-no, because unfortunately that is just asking for you to lose a battlecopter. And as Eagle, you don't want to lose a battlecopter. You want to be keeping battlecopters safe at all times, because those are your bread and butter of your army, folks. Eagle battlecopters, his favorite. I mean, Eagle bombers, you know, the classic boys of the sky, those are probably his actual favorite, but I mean, Eagle mosquitoes are definitely his number 2. Maybe fighters, but either way. So we got an interesting little engagement over here, folks. We go up and we spot an anti-air that is widely out of position. So we move up with the tank and we decide to attack it. And then we move up with the medium tank and attack over here, which is just out of range of this medium tank. So nice little recon spot over there. Managed to know that the medium tank would be safe so he can move up and attack. Now imagine for a moment that medium tank was still in that forest. Oh, we would be laughing all the way to the classy bank, folks. But unfortunately, he decided to move the medium tank more into the center. And we are not going to be able to see medium tank on medium tank action here. But now he does spot that there is a second classy boy on the field. But I don't think Devio has anything to worry about, considering that he's got this stink ball moving up to the middle of the map here. So Bread is going to have to bust out something very, very, very good here pretty soon. Now, we are going to be losing a property over here because we were unable to interrupt it. Now, we could have possibly actually sacked the infantry, moved up and attacked it, right? Because that was a... no, we couldn't do it. Okay, so perfectly fine. Perfectly valid. Move it back. Even if we could go up and interrupt it, I would probably still bring it back just to sit on the HQ, because I don't like not having something on my HQ when there's so much presence around it, you know? Because you just never know. People are very, very crafty in Advanced Wars, and sometimes they will just pop up out of nowhere and just steal your HQ. And you don't want that to happen. So this is okay. So we move up, we eliminate the block and infantry with the battlecopter, because it's really our only option to destroy that. And then we move in with the infantry and interrupt. But we know that there's an anti-air there, so we are going to be losing a battlecopter. And this is the very unfortunate part about this, is even if we don't attack, even if we do not attack anything else the entire turn, Olaf is going to get Winter Fury off of this one hit alone. And this is a guaranteed kill. Guaranteed one shot right here. So that alone is going to get him Winter Fury, and then he's going to be able to just go to town on the rest of Eagle's units here. So Eagle has a very, very important choice to make here, and it's probably going to be getting the heck out of Dodge, unless we can somehow get 2 bars of charge for that lightning strike. And it could be possible, you know. I'm not saying it's not possible, because it could be possible. You would just have to do a lot of very unfortunate things in order to get it done. And those unfortunate things being basically just sacrificing a bunch of units. And if you sacrifice too many units during a lightning strike, well then your lightning strike is just not very good overall. So unless you can get something very, very good out of it, probably would just suggest trying to hold on to the lightning strike and wait for another day. So this doesn't heal your property, or this doesn't heal your units, so just going for defense terrain, I guess, is probably the idea there. Didn't really bank a lot of money for the Winter Fury. Probably would have banked, or if you could think about it fast enough, bank a little bit of money for your Winter Fury, because you're gonna be hit pretty hard with repairs. And if your plan is to use like Lightning Strike the next turn, you want to have a little bit of extra money for a couple builds, right? But either way, so Devio, definitely gonna be going for this attack as soon as he's done capping, right? Yeah. So we go for that attack. That's Winter Fury. We pop the Winter Fury. Snow and global damage everywhere. You just get pelted by those ice balls that you get warned about in elementary school. You know? You think that you're just having a harmless snowball fight, and then all of a sudden it's just an ice ball, or there's a rock in there, or there's a box of crayons in there that is frozen, and somebody just throws it at you, and now you're just having a bad time. Oh, that's very unfortunate for the old Eagle. But once again, I mean, Eagle's got quite a few units, so Lightning Strike could still potentially be very good. But I feel like there is quite a bit exposed here, and I'm not feeling too hot about it. And the problem is neither of our medium tanks are going to get heals this turn. So they're just going to be 8 HP classy boys, and they're not going to be overly effective on the front line unless they're at full HP. Now, if you can get heals on them, then that's great. But his options for a Lightning Strike are very, very limited. So if you're in this situation where you can't really get a whole lot out of your Lightning Strike, I probably would just hold on to it and hopefully okay, so you hold on to the Lightning Strike, but you hold on to it for a while, and you use the threat of the Lightning Strike to try to gain a lot of ground on your opponent. You know, you just keep pushing them farther and farther off the map. You just you stay just out of his attack range, and you're just like, I got Lightning Strike, you better get back. And then he's gonna get back, and then all of a sudden you just built up a massive army again. And even if it's a little bit less value than your opponent, you know, you still move in and you still wipe them out. And even if you get hit by a Winter Fury at that point, I mean, you could potentially just completely wipe out your opponent, and then the Winter Fury doesn't even matter. But he's going to go for Lightning Strike, okay? So he goes for the Lightning Strike. Only 6 minutes and 10 seconds to actually do the entire turn. So doing a Lightning Strike with minimal time is very, very difficult. Like, the fastest I've ever managed to do an entire turn with a Lightning Strike was probably maybe like 3 minutes. So, gotta be very, very fast, you know? And I wouldn't even say like a 3-minute Lightning Strike turn is very effective. It's kind of just rushing through it. You want to have at least 4 minutes, like 4 or 5, maybe 6 minutes to do like a decent Lightning Strike. So I'm actually very curious to see how long it's going to take the Bread Baron to do this Lightning Strike. So remember, 6 minutes and 10 seconds on the field. Did manage to get quite a few hits over here. So like, yeah, we're out of time. Okay. Yeah, we're out of time, unfortunately. Alright, so let me just check that one more time. So we do this. This will be attack, 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 attack. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. We got our builds. We did the lightning strike. We attack. Move back. Attack. 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 Move, 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 move. When did we not move? See, that's unfortunate. So we weren't able to move this tank. We weren't able to move this tank or get this guy out of here. So lightning strike could have been like a little bit better. Like a little bit. Not like overly better because we only didn't move 3 units. But we could have got movement on like the artillery, this tank, this tank. This tank could have got like out of here. It could have been shifted over to this side, which would have been very nice. But considering that it was not able to be moved, Devio is going to be able to now just move in and just wipe out 2 of those tanks, no problem, and start a capture on 3 properties, build another classy medium tank, but then run out of time after that. So, increment, folks. Increment is the killer of people in Live League. You really want to be making sure that you are trying your best to time manage as much as you can in the early games, because once you get to the mid game and you actually have a lot of units to move, you want to have that time on the field, folks. Bust out another classy mutant tank over here from the Bread Baron, so that is very nice. We're going to be seeing the rest of his moves here. I hope that we are going to be able to move these units. Are we going to move those guys? So we attack, get heals, bring back. Okay, not bad. So we moved all of our units, and we banked up 2 seconds of time, folks. Let's go. Let's go, Bread Baron. Getting her done here. Getting her done. Okay, Devio. We are going to finish those 2 caps. So now it's a 22-22 game once again here, folks. So it is dead even. It is anybody's game at this point. But Devio does have to interrupt this capture over here in order to keep it an even game. Now, hopefully, he doesn't forget about this 5 HP infantry that's sitting here, and it does go in and interrupt. Nope. Nope. We are not going to go up and interrupt that. We are going to allow the capture to go through. And I mean, we got lots of presence. We got a lot of presence on the map. So, I mean, excuse me. It might not be that bad. You know, it might not be that bad. He's got an infantry over here, so he's going to be able to capture this. Very likely. Oh, he doesn't get the cap. Okay, my bad. So he was actually at 80. Yeah, because of Winter Fury. Duh. So he doesn't actually have to interrupt that cap. So very smart. Good awareness from Devio there. Despite being on increment, you know, these players are doing their best to keep their awareness of the game very, very high. So knows that he at least had 1 extra day where he didn't have to do anything, so very nice. Oh, we are bringing those battlecopters so far forward. Oh, no. No, I hope they don't get spotted. I mean, they're... Oh, no, they get spotted. Why did I even say it? We lost 2 battlecopters in that push. And almost lost a classy mutant tank. Oh, my lord. See, this is one thing. You know, whenever you have battlecopters, you want to just try to keep them a little bit further back, because it's very dangerous to bring them very, very close to the front line. Especially when, you know, your opponent is going to be spamming out them anti-airs. So, very good counter from Devio52 here, so not too shabby at all. Still disliking the stink of this Neo tank. Hopefully it does end up getting destroyed by the end of the game here, but we shall see. We shall see if the Bread Baron is able to do it. Are we going to have the classy medium tank clear on the Neo? Ooh. Oh, no, it's not going to happen. Can't do 70% damage, unfortunately. Pretty much the maximum amount of damage that you can do with a medium tank onto a Neo, on average, is maybe about 50%, unless you have, like, a lot of firepower bonus, right? But I still root for the medium tank every single time because it is far more classy than the Neo tank. But yeah, we have a lot of presence here, and we are going to be hit by another Winter Fury here very, very soon. So Devio this is going to be a bad Winter Fury. This is going to do a lot of damage. Bread Baron did a very good job here building his units back up and building his unit value, but the problem now is he's only going to have 2 minutes and 21 seconds to do his lightning strike, if he even manages to get a lightning strike this turn. So, and Devio is going to definitely get his Winter Fury. I mean, that attack for sure. And then all you have to do is just, once again, just clear the battlecopter. And you have 2 anti-airs available to do that. Doesn't even need to do it. He's going in with the medium tank instead, which I guess is fine. But you could have also probably got it easily from the battlecopter clear. Now, I just want to double check that. So we are 4,000 short. So this is 4,500 battle charge once you destroy it. So yeah, we would get it just from the battlecopter strike. And then this guy would actually be at 6 when you go in and attack with the medium tank, which is a potential clear, actually. Could potentially clear it. So, okay. So, either way, get the attack, move in, get a bunch of clears here. There is actually a world where this anti-air could clear this medium tank. You know, it's definitely possible, but ends up running out of time once again here. Doesn't actually buy anything this turn. 26,100 funds banked up. And now the Bread Baron, he most likely will be able to get Lightning Strike this turn, but ends up resigning because it is just too difficult to play Lightning Strike when you have very limited time. And plus his army is about half the value of Olaf's at the moment. And even if we Lightning Striked, we don't have an answer to the copter. We don't have an answer to the medium tank. I mean, we could go over here and we could attack it, but 8 HP versus 9 HP, and then we have no way of actually clearing it. And then, I mean, he's got another medium tank. He's got another classy boy hidden in the shadows. So overall, I think Bread Baron played a good game, did the best he could. Olaf is just an absolute unit, and Devio played very well. I think especially when we think back on turns, I mean, there was a few good turns, but this turn, I think right here, just 100% sealed the deal. Spotting the 2 copters and the medium tank, that was it. Once this attack happened, there was just no coming back from that. Now, if we let's say, like, you know, if we had kept these guys just behind this line, you know, I think this game could have went either way. You know, we still have to have an answer to the Neo tank, but I think 22,000 funds, you know, we could bust out a classy boy of the sky and take that guy out, no problem. But either way, you know, that's the way that Live League goes sometimes, folks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I definitely had a good time going over it. And if you did enjoy it, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe. And if you want to support the channel further, you could consider becoming a channel member. But that is completely up to you. So until next time, folks, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.